Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to my presentation on the fitness industry and what we're going to do to make it better uh, and provide a brighter future for not only our clients, but ourselves as trainers, gym owners, etc. So let's get into it. So, we're going to be looking at taking back safe, smart, effective training one rep at a time. It's a very simple concept. So, Me, my name is Mason Browning. I am a 5 year in the fitness industry. I am an amateur bodybuilder. I am a prior overnight manager for Planet Fitness. I currently am trying to achieve my personal training certification through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, NASM, and that's a little about me. So let's get into the issues that we're currently facing. Being the overnight manager, clients, customers, members, however you want to call them, were very, they would greet me with their issues at night that they experienced throughout the day. And a lot of them came from feeling left behind. They signed up for the membership and that was it. They had no real education, no real structure. They just kind of got in, did what everybody else did, and it resulted in a lot of injuries. So, inconsistent education standards uh, through these certifying agencies, collegiate level across the board are wildly variant. Um, this perpetuates the unsafe training standard that we're passing off to our clients, affecting client retention and ultimately profit margins. Profit margins currently are being placed over client longevity, providing the negative image that is currently wrought in the fitness industry. So, failed attempts, previous attempts. Uh, my cats are deciding to freak out, so please mind that. Um, Industry leaders, ask yourselves: has self-regulation really been worth it? Has it really worked out? Yes, you might keep more money in your pocket. However, client retention always goes down, especially companies like Planet Fitness. In their training handbook, we were taught to make the uh, client cancellation process as difficult as possible to make the client come into the gym, sign documents, which very easily could have been over the phone. The signing was basically immaterial. Um, However, in making that process so difficult, clients would just wash their hands of it and continue paying the monthly fees, prioritizing the ones that don't come in over the ones that are in daily. As I mentioned before, these third party agencies versus these collegiate level programs are wildly different. Just between the four third party agencies, which we will get into momentarily, there we go, um, are wildly different. Like ISSA, the Association, International Sports Science Association, they're more generally geared toward training the elderly. NASM is a more generalized program training the widest population. I'm not too familiar with ACE and NSCA. However, ACE is mostly geared toward athletes, high level athletes. So, the best way to create a solution is to aggregate all these forms of data and consciousness of thought into one centralized nonprofit organization, all for the benefit of the client. And The name we've settled on is the American Center for Fitness Evolution. How we go about evolving the fitness industry is taking all of those streams of data, pairing it with the collegiate level industry, creating a single national training standard, and rigorously tracking injury rate, client satisfaction, and the rate at which gyms implement these standards. So, how what are the goals here? We must restore client confidence. That is foremost first step. How do we do that? We provide trainers with reliable, concrete training data for the widest group of clientele possible. And we do that in order to decrease injury risk and liability. Gym liability is where a lot of gym owners get caught up by these improper trainers also not having proper liability insurance. So, focusing on these areas will boost the client confidence in the trainers' confidence in the training they received, and overall, a boost in profits through the long term and career success for everyone. How do we succeed? How do we get this going? So, as I stated, under the industry authority supervision, we have to create a standardized training method. Taking all these different trains of thought between all of the major certifying agencies, collegiate programs, and the industry's best coaches to create the widest scope of variable training possible. These trainers, the current standard for NASM is a bi-yearly recertification process. After these new standards are implemented, these trainers will be under the same recertification process. Keep that the same as it is currently. No need to change anything there. Uh, the implementation of liability insurance for not only the trainer and the gym, as I stated previously, is uh, quite a big issue with gym owners. Uh, when I was working at Planet Fitness, I was about to come on shift, and this 17-year-old was about to do his squat set, and because the guy at the front desk was not paying attention, the kid lifted too much weight and went into a seizure. Luckily, he was okay. However, it was a scary instance to come into work to. So, taking those injury reports, uh, client satisfaction, and um, inspections for compliance all are necessary steps to create a to evolve the industry even further after implementation to create that same level playing field of fitness. What are some of the arguments that could arise? Regulation and national oversight damage business. Well, I argue that loss of client retention does more damage than anything, and sending out trainers to ultimately fail because they were improperly trained is also an issue. So, more well equipped trainers providing a better service in the long term will provide makeup for the disparity in short term profit. This cannot be a one size fits all uh, solution. gyms in Los Angeles do not have the same needs as gyms in Topeka, Kansas. So localized plans will be developed based on the audits and inspections to best suit client needs. Will no longer be an industry based on business performance or gym locality. This will turn into a client based industry. Uh, there's already established standard training methods. As I've stated previously, the training methods are so widely variable that inconsistent methods provide inconsistent results and increased injury risk to the client, ultimately damaging the lack of a positive image the fitness industry already has. Who foots the bill? That's a good question. Well, public public health services, like the Department of Health and Human Services, be first and foremost, got to get the government involved. However, online certifying agencies have the benefit of already having established platforms, so their startup cost will be minimal. And the recertification and penalties for non-compliant gyms during the annual inspections will go to the payback for the initial cost of the creation of the American Center for Fitness Evolution. Um, Profits follow client satisfaction. Improving standards will improve quality across the board. The client is what matters. Who's the beneficiary here? Who gets the most out of it? Well, I see it as a three-way win. Clients receive better training uh, to promote their healthy lifestyle. Clients become better coaches, and gyms not only repair their negative stigma, but over the long term would most likely see a rise in profits as well. Where do we start? Got to get the conversation going. Got to talk with people. Got to push for the trainers to at your local gym to boost their own education. I worked with coaches, and by the end of my contract, I ended up coaching the coach more than he trained me. Hence why I ended up going with Massam to get my own certification, because I, as a novice, knew more than the person I was paying to train me. So we're going to stop selling hope and start presenting effective results. If you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. And then we get into the references. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time, and any questions, feel free to ask.